So can I do EMA with my kids, with the children? Yeah. If so, is there like
How old are they?
my son's 9 and my daughter's 2.5.
Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you can. There are so many of our mentors and people in the community who teach their children who've grown up with EAM now for like the last 5 and 6 years. They're even teaching their friends in the school playground. It's beautiful. It's a really amazing. Sonia just said she does it with her son who's 9. I do it with the boys. The wonderful thing with children is their energy is really open. So half the time you don't even really need to get them to do the sway if you're doing it with them. So little ones like 2.5, you can just get them to copy the words that you're saying, or you can do it as magic is the other way that I do. So I'm like, shall we do some magic and see if we can get rid of that? So with children, you can usually just ask them how they feel. Like, are you feeling happy? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling wherever? And they'll be like, oh, I feel sad. And where are you feeling that sad feeling? And they'll be like, oh, they'll literally stick their finger in it like it's here, and they're like, oh, it's a red ball, or it's a this, or it's something that's coming up. So you don't need to necessarily get them swaying, particularly when they're younger, because they're usually very in tune with what's coming up to them. You can just ask the questions and then do step 4. The 9-year-old, maybe you might be able to get them to do the sway. Obviously, the 2.5-year-old, probably not yet. But it's a beautiful thing to be able to do. And then step 5s, I do step 5s with the boys when we go to bed. So part of going to bed with them, I'll do a step 5 over the bed. Or like if they're scared, then mummy will come in and do a step 5 and put her angels in the room for them and stuff like that. So there's lots of beautiful things you can do with your children, and it's such a wonderful skill to be able to teach them to let go of their anger, to let go of their frustration. And if they don't want to say the words, you can say it for them. In the same way that we get programmed by our parents, you can help support them. So even just saying the words for them, if they don't want to do it, it's in your voice. You are literally like their voice at that age. So you can do the work for them or with them. And sometimes I will do energy work. So I will stand, sounds really creepy, I'll go in the boys' bedroom and do EAM on them when I know they've had a bad day if they don't want to do it. So I'll go and stand next to the bed and act on their behalf. So I'll sway as them, and then I'll do the clearing as them, and then I'll do step 5 for them as well.
Oh, okay.
So there's lots of things that you can do with your children. But what a beautiful question. And how lucky that they've got a mummy that wants to do that with them as well.
Yeah, I've introduced doing glads, what we're glad for before we go to bed. And my son, he's like, he just came in when Sonia was on the call, and he was just like, we haven't done our glads, and he was all upset. I was like, okay, we can do it now. Yeah, so he's really receptive to that sort of stuff. He loves it.
It's beautiful. There's a really lovely book, I'm gonna have to find the name of it, about filling your bucket. I can't remember who wrote it, but it's a really beautiful children's book about filling each other's buckets. So that and again, this is another little thing that we do before bedtime. So you tell each other things that you love about them. So it talks about, it's basically about taking energy from people. They call it your bucket. You either fill someone's bucket or you take from someone's bucket. So when you're kind, you fill people's buckets. When you're mean to them, you take something from their bucket. And then you can fill each other's buckets. So like, mummy, these are all the things I love about you, or da-da-da-da. And it's a really beautiful thing to be able to add in. But yeah, definitely please use it with your children. Tara